The Open Tabs podcast is back. Welcome back, everyone. I be's your brothers.
I can't get this music out of my head.
I be's your brother Calvin Smith. I'm here with my mainest of mans.
Hey, man.
My homie Joe Carlos. What's up, Joe?
Not much, brother. How you doing today?
Hey, man. You know, I first world problems abound here.
They always do.
Housekeeper came through and misplaced my do-rag. So
no.
And I'm off schedule for my presidential treatment. From shout out to my barber Dewan, kindly and anointed hands, because I'm getting the presidential on Saturday. I'm getting the facial and the haircut.
Okay.
And I'll be
big
back,
weekend.
Right.
Big weekend coming up.
Nah, just to take care of myself. Self-love. That's the only love I got right now.
No love like self-love.
Only love I got right now, man. I'm a horrible person, so that's
okay.
only love.
No, you're not.
Only love I got right now. But yeah, man. So my do-rags. So I got to represent for Guidance Whiskey.
Nice.
Tennessee State. Some Tennessee State alums, Jason Rigel, some other guys put together Guidance Whiskey. So I'm
nice.
Advertising out here. You know what I mean? On the Guidance and ginger beer tonight.
Got it.
Somebody left this hat over my crib. Probably you're never getting it back. There he is.
My brother just kind of came in, he's in the scene.
Space Killer!
Space Killer! Ali Manila!
You got your hands just all the way up in it.
Yeah, man.
Ferocious, huh?
Oh, I cannot wait to talk about that, actually. Because
Las Vegas, you don't even have jurisdiction around here.
He turns his head.
Right. When the Las Vegas, when the Las Vegas PD guys,
or I extradite you on a North Carolina one.
Exactly. New Jersey.
Oh my God.
It's fine. Yes, and so that was a cameo by Jordan Carlos. Who shout out to Jordan because he just wrapped today with the second season of First Wives Club. He did 10 or 11. Amazing. He did a lot of episodes. He's in every episode this season.
Hello, Jilly.
Yes. Working closely with Jilly from Philly, and Michelle Buteau and Gary Dodan.
Hey.
And Deborah Cox.
We can't be friends.
And Shantae Moore.
Woo! Candlelight and you. Hey, man, come on.
I mean, it's like the 90s came to life and the early 2000s came to life. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful black experience produced by the mogul known as Tyler Perry. But Jordan rapped today, so very proud of him. So he's got a little break. Yeah, then he'll be back to shoot another film. Actually,
hey man, working actor.
Exactly. So he'll be back. I want to give a quick shout out to Chocolate Unicorns.
Yes.
To my friends Asha and Bryson Palmer from Chocolate Unicorns. It's Black History Month shirt. So proud of them and what they're trying to do to promote diversity in cartoons and in the symbols and figures that the children see and play with and things of that nature. I'm wearing that's what are you wearing tonight, Joe? Well, I'm wearing chocolate.
It's that season, man.
It is that season. I'm wearing Chocolate Unicorns tonight. So big shout out, and can't wait to don my first Surly shirt tomorrow. And actually, since this is the preamble, I'm going to the All-Star game Sunday.
Have fun with that.
I will. I'm going to the All-Star game Sunday night, and
make sure you wear one of these, brother.
I'm wearing two of those.
Good.
Yeah. 2,500 people. Maybe no, 2,000. It's either 2,000 and 2,500 in the 20,000 stadium person stadium. 10%. But got some fresh green Dallas Mavericks drip for the occasion.
Mavericks.
It's literally a 1980s satin Dallas Mavericks jacket. I cannot wait to rock
with the M.
With the M and the cowboy hat.
Mark Aguirre.
Mark number 24.
Rolando. I love it, man.
Out of Kansas.
Hey,
didn't know that. Mark Aguirre out of DePaul.
Yeah, I knew that one. I didn't know Rolando went.
Yeah, Ro Blackman. Brad Davis. I don't know where Brad went to school. Brad.
You are a true Dallas fan.
Look, The 87-18 took the Lakers to 7 Western Conference Finals, man.
There is a reason we call.
I can still write that roster. I can still write that.
Joe from Dallas, and it's not just because he's from Dallas. You embody. You are the person that people, when they think of Dallas,
brother, you embody.
I embody Atlanta. Like the second floor of Westlake High School.
You are Atlanta. You are Atlanta.
I'll take it.
Or as my brother would say, Atlanta.
Atlanta.
no, like what's her name? Joyce Littell. Atlanta.
Yes.
Atlanta.
Yes.
The Quiet Storm. Atlanta.
Joyce Littell.
Relationships.
Joyce Littell is a huge part of my life. That's the reason that
she's probably on night now. She's probably on right now. Why you
God bless Joyce Littell and the Quiet Storm.
Much love always.
Much love, brother. Before we jump into Heat, because I know you're excited. I'm excited about it too. It's so good. So I do want to make a recommendation for everybody who has not seen the performance of Andre Day in the United States versus Billie Holiday. You need to see this performance, man. She is blowing them out the water. She's gonna win everything. Deserves everything. First row.
Yeah, first shot out. This is like Jennifer Hudson as Effie. When all the sisters were mad, when everybody was mad.
It was all mad, but guess what?
It was all mad because Ms. Knowles was not nominated that year.
She does a lot of things well, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah, Andre. May I double down on that with you?
Oh, please do.
Yeah, no, Andre Day was a powerhouse.
Yeah,
as Billie Holiday, and if you think you know Billie Holiday from Lady Sings the Blues,
no sirree, Bob.
Hey. Brother, that's like a Saturday morning cartoon in comparison to.
I say this with only a minimal pun intended. Straight dope.
Well, yeah.
The straight dope, for real, man.
The straight dope, yeah. The straight dope.
Woo.
I mean, from the Candyman.
From the Candyman.
Yes.
Oh, Joe.
Whew. Boy, oh boy. So here we are.
We're
together,
man.
You and I.
Woo. That's Michael. All right, let me ask you this real quick. Michael Evans version or the O'Brien version? Have you heard you've heard the O'Brien version, right?
No.
Oh, wait. First of all, O'Brien has the greatest Jerry curl in the history of Jerry curls. He has it's O'Brien and Stoney Jackson, and I won't take any other I
was gonna say
AC Green and Michael Cage. All due respect, but Stoney Jackson and O'Brien.
I think the beauty of Stoney Jackson. I got some love for Michael Cage though, but the beauty of Stoney Jackson's is it was the volume.
Yeah,
and it was so big.
Yeah. O'Brien is on that level. O'Brien is there.
Okay. So Michael Cage though was a big man in the NBA when uniforms were small.
Yeah, man.
And I don't mean like a tall man. I mean a big man.
Yeah, he was like Jerome in Snowfall. He was, filling it out, man.
Don't know. Yes, we're filling it out. I was gonna say, and I mentioned the 87-88 season. That was my first NBA season that I was all in from preseason through Game 7 of the finals.
Okay.
And
did y'all have to go through Seattle?
Yeah, we took care of them.
That's where Michael Cage. Was he Seattle or was he LA Clippers at that time?
No, he was Seattle.
Okay.
Because he won the rebounding title over Oakley on the last night. That's back when that mattered. Have you ever heard of anybody? Have you ever heard of the rebound title since then?
Since Rodman, no, not really.
No, I'm saying so that's what's kind of crazy about it to me. Like those records meant a whole lot. Remember when the rushing champion? When rushing champion meant everything. I remember there was a guy, and I got to look it up. I think his name is Charles White. He was rushing champion. Yeah, for the Rams, and he'd had some problems. Mm-hmm. And then he came back and he was a rushing champ like 88, 89.
Yeah. Like he was between Dickerson and
Barry.
And Barry, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and because Peyton,
like Neil Anderson, all these, he was like,
he's somewhere in there.
He came out of
nowhere and had an amazing season. And those Rams teams were very good.
Oh yeah,
they just
Jim
could never
Everett
get over. Yeah, they could never get over the hump. You know, there was always the Niners.
Henry Ellard and my man Flipper Anderson, man.
Henry Ellard, golly, no one has said Henry Ellard on a podcast this week.
I guarantee it.
No one, not even a Rams receiver podcast. So anyway, yeah, Cage. I thought Cage's Jerry Curl was special because he would play like 40 minutes and be just sweat drenched trying to get these rebounds, and yet, you know, his Jerry Curl was imperfect. He had like a Superman like S thing in the front.
Yeah.
A little Eddie Mustard thing going on. Yeah. It was a beautiful bouffant of with beard.
Yes.
Jerry Curl. Unlike AC didn't have the beard.
AC,
and neither did Stoney, but Stoney had the volume.
AC couldn't grow the beard. I have a theory on why he couldn't grow the beard. But...
Here we go.
That's terrible. I shouldn't do that.
It is. So, but back to what you were really saying.
O'Brien has a version of You and I.
Okay, I gotta check it out.
It's its own thing. Like, okay. You know, Michael Evans, his version, you know, is
Michael Evans. I love how this is literally. It's in the pantheon of versions. It's literally there.
My cousin Steve sang it at his own wedding and did a bang up job. But this is the Michael.
You could take your own mic and do it. I mean, take it and sing it yourself. I mean, it's such a powerful song.
Yeah, it is. It is, brother. Tonight we're taking it to LA. Speaking of Jerry Curls.
Calvin said that.
Hey man,
I got his back.
I'm a fan of the Jerry Curl. I love the Jerry Curl, man. Look, if this pandemic keeps going for much longer, I might grow a Jerry Curl.
Oh, good. Blessed are those who ask the question, brother. Because if you got the hair to do it, congratulations to you. Blessed are those who ask the questions, brother.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to Gary Durden.
Sure. Shout out to Gary D. Yes.
Tonight we're taking it to 1995.
Praise God.
Michael Mann.
Praise God.
Whew, this movie was so anticipated. This movie had so much hype going into it because you had two of the greatest actors of their generation and arguably two of the greatest actors ever.
Yep.
Never shared a scene together. It was guaranteed in this movie to share a scene together. This movie, when the Heat's around the corner, man. Heat, 1995. Heat, incredible film, and you know it's been covered pretty widely on the internet. But
thank gosh, because it came around at just the right time.
Yeah, man.
That guys like us, who were seeing it at a certain stage in age in life, then took to the internet to express ourselves.
Yeah, it's out there. You just grab it, man.
You just grab it. I didn't know what he was saying. He's like, "How do you find it? It's out there. It's just out there. You just gotta grab it." I know how to grab
it. We grabbing it now, brother.
But that was a
prescient,
very big, prescient, which tends to be a term we use a lot here as of late. Prescient, yes, indeed. Heat, man. Where were you when you saw it?
So I don't remember. I definitely did not see it in the theater. I know
first time. I meant the first time. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see it in the theater. I caught it on like TNT or somewhere randomly, and it was like, oh, this is Heat, and you know, obviously, you know, TNT has their version. It's about 8 hours long.
Yes, and missing a good 20 minutes.
And still somehow missing a good 20 minutes. You know? Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I eventually did see it somewhere between 99 and 2001. I eventually saw the Michael Mann intended version of Heat. And you know, was summarily like, yeah, this is it. This is what movie making is all about. This is a instant classic movie. What about you? Where were you? What was your story?
I was at the AMC Grand 24 in Dallas, Texas, off of I-35 with my brother, my big brother, and my main man, Thomas Elliott Jr. Tom was in town to interview for a job, and he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was in academic exiles a year between Howard University and Morehouse College. I was a student at Brookhaven College at the time.
They call it the gap year now.
Yeah, the gap year. Yeah, sure, gap year. And I said, "I'm not doing anything, bro. What do you want to do?" He said, "Let's go see this Heat." I said, "Oh, DeNiro, Pacino, let's go." So he said, "I said, where?" He said, "Well, we'll meet halfway between us." And it was the AMC Grand. Got something to eat at the Chili's right next door. And no place else. Like Chili's, no place. And baby. Oh, I almost have an apple blossom coming out my nose. And so we went to see it.
Took it way back, man.
Yeah, we did. So we went to see it and blown away, man.
Yeah, man.
In '95, absolutely blown away. And then I remember buying it on tape.
Okay.
And then buying it on DVD as well. And so I was probably out a week or two before I saw it.
Okay.
And then I think I went back and saw it with my dad. Like I saw it with Tom first, and I think I went back and saw it with my dad.
Okay.
As well.
So here's something I wanted to talk about very early on.
I'm working on being concise. I'm being concise, but
oh well, you know.
Excuse me.
They're playing it's like a ghost stream now, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you know.
I'm working on it. I didn't say I'm working on it.
Folks know us by now. They'll be all right. They'll be
That's
all right.
true. That's true.
So the thing about Heat, like in terms of like you talk about home video and everything like that.
Yeah.
My boy Jeff, who was on the last episode, shout out to Dr.
Jeff Jones and his outstanding work with us last week. Shout out to Dr. Jeff Jones. Yes.
So Jeff suggested that I use Heat to set up my home stereo system when I got a new home stereo system. Greatest recommendation ever, man. And like, so I was telling Jeff earlier in our group chat, like this is a little known story. I can't use real names or anything like that, but I was doing some underground things that I probably shouldn't have been doing in medical school. And one of the people that was integral in that was like, "Yeah, come set up my home stereo system." And
oh yes,
sure enough,
I remember that. Yes, I recall that. Yes,
we used Heat, and like you know, he was summarily impressed. He was like, "Oh, okay," like that shootout, man. Whoo.
You want to talk about that shootout right now?
We can talk about it, man. We can talk about. Hey, look, that shootout rather in the background. Like the sound on it. The sound on it is so perfect.
Let's go. Keep going. I'm going to see who was up for best sound effect editing at the 1996 Oscars.
Not Heat. Not Heat.
How do you have the greatest gunfight ever caught on film?
So
in the United States of America, I don't know what they did in Japan. I don't know what they did in China. I don't know what they did in the United States of America, and not be up for best sound effects editing.
And Michael Mann put in work for this, man. Like he had like parabolic microphones. He had microphones set up. You know what I mean? Like
$60 million in 95, bro. In 94, bro. $60 million in 1994.
And it pays off to this day.
Yes. But I'm just saying, $60 million in 1994.
That's like
whatever you want to do.
That's like $1 billion now, man.
It is like $1 billion like right now. It is. It's like building a stadium. Stadiums cost $60 million.
SoFi. He did SoFi. Bro, it was amazing. And like, you know, I mean, I had never heard such crisp sound on like gunshots, on
reload,
ambient sound. Like everything was as far as the sound and the way that the movie visually looked, it was a labor of love. You could tell that Michael Mann really was putting his all into it. Yeah. And you know, to your point, the travesty that was the award season for this film.
I'm looking at this. Oh, I was about to say something. I'm looking this up right now.
It's crazy, man. Like, you know, like they just got no love whatsoever, man. And I don't know, man. Like, you know, this film has lived on. You know, we've talked a bit about, like, for instance, the Dances with Wolves versus the Goodfellas argument. You know what I mean? And how Goodfellas pretty much has endured. And you can't engage any young person on Dances with Wolves whatsoever. No young person has ever seen Dances with
Beautiful,
Wolves.
Though. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful movie. Does not endure.
Dances with Wolves.
Goodfellas. Go get your fucking shine box. And the same thing applies for Heat. Like Heat endures, it is on probably right now somewhere. It's on TNT, it's on, Showtime, it's on, HBO Max, wherever.
Yep.
I'm sure you don't stars, you don't have to go very far. It's one of those movies that anytime you look it up on demand, you're not paying for it. It's streaming. It's there. You're watching it. And so, I just don't get it. Did you find who it was up against in that?
Let's go for sound first, okay?
Okay.
Let's just go for sound first.
Okay.
And normally I wouldn't even be tripping if Russell Williams III was in it because the most decorated black man in Oscar history.
That's right.
Main man Russell Williams III.
That's right.
Who did the sound for Dances with Wolves, by the way.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll
stop.
What he did.
No, I'm just saying I'll stop dissing the Dances with Wolves. I just
I know where this is coming from. By the way, I know exactly where this. Imperioli said it in GQ. He's like, who watches Dancing with Wolves? Who watches? We won. Goodfellas, we won. Yeah. The winner was Apollo 13. I'm going to say this right now. I've never seen it. Never seen it. Batman Forever, saw it. Braveheart, definitely saw it. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Crimson Tide, saw it. Pretty awesome. Waterworld, watched 10 minutes of it, looked away.
An abomination.
Yeah. That's why I watched 10 minutes of it and looked away. Sound effects editing. Only Braveheart, Batman Forever, and Crimson Tide. So they gave it to Braveheart, which we all know won Best Picture that year.
Sure.
But I don't know. So for sound effects editing, they only nominated 3 pictures. Why in the world, if you only nominated 3 pictures, granted, Braveheart had all these battle scenes and all this kind of stuff, and Batman Forever had the punches, but it's the same. The punches weren't any better than they were the before. Crimson Tide's got the missiles going, and they're yelling in the sub and all that kind of stuff, and Alabama, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to tell me that 10 minutes of pristine film brilliance 10 minutes alone wouldn't garner a nomination?
Not even a nomination.
Now, I can see you don't give them sound for the whole film. Okay, I'll leave you alone on that. But that scene, the scene they took 4 weekends to shoot, shutting down the streets for 4 weekends
in LA.
Figueroa and Fifth, yes. You know how expensive that was? Having the mics everywhere. Now, I watched it again the last 2 days. I watched it for little things.
Okay. Talk about them.
I'm looking at performances. I'm looking at subtle nuances in performances. I'm looking at and I'm looking for that scene. And I'm noticing Neil is on one side. Neil is DeNiro.
Yeah.
Chris is Shaherless.
Yes.
On the other side. I'm trying to figure out how they have a bunker between the cars and where in the world all those people who were in the cars went.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But somehow you can see Neil shooting, and in the distance you can still see Chris shooting, Val Kilmer shooting, and nothing breaks. There's no break in it. There's no, that looks weird. There's no lack of continuity. It was crackerjack timing. Perfect, Calvin.
Yeah, no.
And not only visually was it perfect, Calvin, Michael Mann in his brilliance. The only music we got going in.
Exactly.
And that's the music. That's the music from the bank robbery.
Yep.
Which was smooth.
They still try to recreate that.
Right. They come out. Chris, the shot of the film to me, my favorite shot of the film.
When he comes out of the bank smiling.
Come out of the bank smiling. He sees Buddy across. Bam. Let's go. It's showtime. It's showtime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yet, no nominations.
No.
But it's studied today.
Yeah.
The Marines studied the film.
Yes.
About firefights and what to do in firefights and how to reload and how to have your 20 and how to look left and right, all that.
Yes.
And I'm going to go to this and I'm going to shut up and listen to your opinions on it. It all comes down to preparation. Michael Mann, as we know because we've done the research, did so much work in the front end with his actors. So much so that they all became obsessive about this film, which in my mind, if I'm really thinking about it, let's put it out there. Let's just say it. Because no one's said it. Let's just say it. Is this movie better than Babe? Yes.
Yes.
Is this movie better than Sensibility? Of course. Is this movie better than The Postman? Of course.
Yes.
I haven't even seen Apollo 13, and Braveheart is a bad movie. But give me a break. How in the world is this film with Pacino, with DeNiro, with the gunfight, with the writing, with the cinematography, with the dull colors, with the different LA story? How in the entire world is this film not up for best picture? And how in the world is Mann not up for best director? And how in the world are they not up for writing awards? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. No, it makes.
I don't get it.
No
and
sense.
so I'm going to be quiet and pass it back over to you. Oh, the little, and I'm going to come back to talk little things. But I'm going to pass it over to you. Sorry.
No, I mean, I agree, part and parcel with I mean, dude. We often talk about societal impact, and we can.
I thought we did that one. Yeah.
We'd be all over the place. We talk about societal impact in movies, and we like, sometimes
women be shopping.
It doesn't have a societal impact, right? This movie has
gunfire.
Well, no, but I'm saying this movie here had a significant societal impact because not only were movies trying to recreate these robberies, people in Rio de Janeiro, people in all over the United States trying to recreate this robbery.
Yeah,
like, dude, this movie, the impact of this movie. And for it to just be completely shut out, I wonder, I mean, Michael Mann has since had some of his work recognized, but I just wonder what was up, what was going on in the politics, because it had to be something politically.
I'm curious about that. I didn't. That's the one thing I didn't think about, the politics. We're both huge football fans,
right?
In general. And it's interesting because we just had we got Hall of Fame. We just had some guys who were voted in the Hall of Fame, thank gosh. And some guys that should have, shout out to Drew, praise God. Finally. But there are some that we all know that will probably never get in. Like Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire are in the Baseball Hall of Fame. What the?
Best player I've ever seen play baseball, Barry Bonds.
I mean, why are they not? Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame, right? So I know we know politics. Mm-hmm. Politics play into that.
Yeah.
With movies, it's a different thing. And now we know, and then the innocence is gone. Now we know you're paying for a lot of these. You're paying for exposure and all this. But you would think, or one would think, and if you look at it, Mel did Braveheart.
Yeah.
Apollo 13 that's Ron Howard. Yeah. Brian Grazer, producer. Mm-hmm. I can't even speak on these other three. Babe, The Postman, and Sensibility. What does that thing to do if we redid the NBA draft in a certain year? Or the NFL draft? I mean, give me a... No one's talking about those other movies.
No.
I've never seen a Babe retrospective. I've never seen it come up. And the reason I'm really hot about it is because we're 25 years from right now. Yeah. This was 25 years ago, like this month.
Yeah.
This is fourth Monday in April, back when they used to do a fourth Monday in March, back when they used to do it. Yeah. So I'm saying all that to say that it did have societal impact, like you said.
Yeah.
And I can't say that enough, and I'm gonna come back to it. The little things for me. Everybody is different. And they're all messed up in their own beautiful way.
Yes. Talk about that character study, man.
Oh my gosh. Shahirless is married to the delectable, at the top of her game, Ashley Judd. In blonde Ashley Judd. Like she did this, and then she went and did A Time to Kill.
Yeah.
That Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Like before Kiss the Spider.
Peak Ashley Judd.
Oh yeah, we're peaking. Peak Ashley Judd. Before Double Jeopardy,
Yes.
Phi Beta Kappa, University of Kentucky. Actually,
right. Their best fan.
Yeah, number one fan, National Jet. And yet he's this degenerate gambler. Goes through what he's going through.
Who
Can't
bets
really
on Super Bowl 94 and who bets on that Super Bowl in 94, man? Who does that?
Stupid. I don't know how you lose that Super Bowl bet in 94. Yeah, how do you lose that Super Bowl bet? Seriously, the Niners, of course, are going to beat the Chargers. Yeah. who believed anything else? Anyway, sorry. And of course, Neil. I'm just going to talk about Neil. Well, Neil, of course, quiet, reserved, never just unflappable. Always eyes, always darting, always looking for the out, always, and lives by a code.
Yeah.
Which proves detrimental eventually. And I'm going to mention two others. Of course, you got to talk about Vincent Hanna as Al Pacino. I didn't notice it, how happy he was everywhere else but home.
Yeah.
And his wife she's constantly saying it. And he agrees, but he doesn't really have anything like, okay, that's just who I am.
Yeah.
I'm on the edge where I got to be, which Rushmore used.
Right. Yes.
Which they use in Rushmore.
I think about it every time.
I'm on the edge.
I told you when we hooked up, baby.
When we hooked up, baby. I'm sorry. I got it. Anyway. If the chicken is a little overcooked. But so talk about them, and then I just love Sizemore. And I'm gonna say Sizemore's quiet rage.
Yeah.
And crazy.
Yeah.
I'm down for what Sizemore had going on.
A lot of tongue action.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it.
The action's the juice for me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that Sizemore was like.
I'm gonna come back to Sizemore.
The next thing he did was actually that same fall was Devil in a Blue Dress.
Yeah.
And then he did this. Man, if you think about his arc at that time, his definitive end of that arc is Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's Michael Mann movies. He's
doing it, man. He's doing it.
This is not Sly Del Vecchio from Pastor 57.
Sly Del Vecchio.
Go ahead, take it. What are your little things? Go ahead, take it. My bad.
So no, let me ask you this, because this is one of my little things. When did you first find out about or notice Vincent Hanna potentially being on substances?
Not till you told me, and then I read about it. Like I didn't. Well, I have a great story about it.
Okay.
Ricky Harris.
Yes. Talk about yes. Do that.
Who's in the film, and I wish I could remember his name. Yeah.
Albert Torino. Albert Torino.
Torino. Yeah. Albert Torino. Okay, so Ricky did our Morehouse College Homecoming comedy show.
Yeah.
In '99, I was the comedy show director. Me and Talithia Williams.
Yes.
And
very well done.
Ricky, very well done. Thank you. Ricky was our headliner, and I got to hang out with him the night before. He came in town a day early. His manager messed it up, and we hung out the night before, the night of the infamous fashion show in '99.
Oh, and, man.
Yeah, he had a front row seat, and he was like, "Man, what are y'all doing here at Morehouse? Like, I don't understand." We took him to the bucket shop, and he just started telling stories about Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so Rick tells us a story. He's like, so I said, man, I got to know. I said, I know you hung out with the Death Row guys, you did Death Row Records guys, you did this, that, and the other, but I got to know about Heat. He's like, man, look, greatest experience of my life, man.
Yeah.
He said a lot of my work was on the cutting room floor, but I got paid. Michael Mann paid me. He paid me for the days I shot.
Yeah.
Got a little back end too. He said I had the scene with Pacino, and I was worried about, I'm cool, but like it's Al Pacino, you know what I mean? And I'm a comedian. And so he said, so Pacino, we had some scenes together. He said, so Pacino called me to the trailer, man, and said, hey, let's go play chess. And so he knew how to play. He's like, I knew how to play chess, but you know, I wasn't going to sit up there and like beat Al Pacino. I want to get invited back.
It's like playing golf with your boss.
Yeah, you're not like, no. Oh gosh, look at where it went. That one got away.
Yeah,
you know. So he said he sat there and he learned from him, and you know they imbibed a little bit, you know, on the stickiest, the ickiest of the sticky icky. Yeah, you know, and he said, you know, and they became tight.
Yeah,
and he learned so much by watching him. And he was like, you know, this is what I do. This is what I do. Do you do this? He's like, yeah, I do that. Yeah, smoke with Al Pacino? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it, right? So he, you know, but he learned he said he learned a great deal just sitting there watching him. And Pacino, he said that was the thing he did, shocked him how generous and forthright and like just really helpful he was to somebody who was doing like 5 days a week on the movie at most. Yeah, and he didn't have to, but he's like, it showed up in the scene because they had like a chemistry that it was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I wanted to say that. But you asked a question, so about the coke. So it came up in scenes like that, and in scenes with Hank Azaria, it kind of came up, or even him hitting the TV and kicking it out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Was it a conscious decision to just remove those scenes where he's like, was he doing lines or taking bumps? I mean, what was he supposed to be doing?
So I think it was just an improv a decision on his part. I don't think that Michael Mann intended for that. I don't think that Michael Mann, I don't think it was really a thing like in the script or anything like that. It was just him, you know, being a method actor saying, this is who Vincent Hanna is. He's this guy that, you know, takes a take a bump every now and again, and like, I mean, just the fact that
I would think that would compromise him though. I would think that would compromise.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, if they ever were, you know, if they had ever decided to do a sequel, I'm sure it would have been about, you know, somebody coming in and investigating, being like, look, you know, Vincent Hanna's he's off the chain. You know what I mean? Like, but you can see, like, I mean, just the subtleties of his eyes twitching, and you know, just going back and forth, like, just wilding out, like, you know, it's so.
Give me all you got.
Give me all you got. By the time I get to Phoenix,
hey Nick, I hear your brother Richard. Richard, I hear Richard. You be there. You be there.
Or as we need Jordan back. We need Jordan.
Alvarado.
Where's your empathy, brother?
It's a substance abuse problem.
Empathy was yesterday.
Empathy was yesterday.
Wasting my motherfucking time.
That's
waste
chemistry.
My motherfucking time.
That's chemistry.
It is. It's perfect. It's perfect, man. So
and that scene and that line, catchphase. I've been using that ever since.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was, you know. So again, shout out to Jeff Jones again on the message board. That was his like tagline. Like, empathy was yesterday. Today he wasted my motherfucking time. Look, so the other thing for me was like, you know, again, people will see from this season of the Open Tabs podcast that I have a love affair with LA. LA is my lady. I love
LA. LA is my lady. Ooh, what you know about that?
Hey man, you know,
produced by the great Quincy D. Light Jones and sung by my main man Francis Albert.
Hey, Pally.
Sinatra. Hey, Pally. Hey, indeed. Keep going. I'm sorry. So LA is my lady. Go ahead.
I love LA, and you know, the
puns wild.
The use of LA in this film. You know, I mean, again, it's been said over and over again. He used more, like, I guess about out of the 84 different locations he used, 74 had never been used before.
Yeah.
So, like, just the use of random spots in LA, making LA a part of the film.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. I mean, like,
instead of sets, being in real places,
on location. Nothing beats on location. And like, I'm thinking about like Neil's spot, like where with no furniture. By the way,
I'm thinking it's CGI though. I think that was the actual set.
You think that was CGI?
I thought about it last night. There's CGI. There's two CGI scenes I'm pretty sure of. It's Edie's spot and Neil's spot.
Okay.
I'm almost positive, but I could be very, very wrong. I'd like to be wrong about
it. Well, you know, I mean, either way, man, the use of LA in the film was just, you know, I love it. I love it. He really, like, if you're looking at how to use a city and make the city a character, in a film, you got to study Heat.
Yeah, you got to study Heat. If that's I would say Heat and for American films, but Heat and definitely Manhattan. Woody Allen's Manhattan, which is of course about Manhattan.
Yes.
But which is interesting to say, since most of his films during that time period were in New York, but Manhattan as well. But I think even though this is a beautiful, Heat is beautiful in its monochromatic resonance, wherein there are colors, but no one's really sticking out. I mean, the crew, right? The Cifaretto crew is not really sticking out. There, I thought you would appreciate the Cifaretto crew. But
I definitely do.
The Cifaretto crew, they're not really sticking out.
I'm on season 5 of my most recent rewatch, by the way.
Wachiku is season 6, episode 4 right now. We're almost there. But I couldn't agree more with you. LA is this is a different LA because it's an authentic LA.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the origins of the story, because we have not done that.
Yeah. So LA Takedown. LA Takedown was a TV series proposed by Michael Mann. Michael Mann had an obsession with Neil McCauley's a real life criminal.
Yeah.
There was a police officer, Adamson. I forget what Adamson's first name was, but Chuck Adamson. So Chuck Adamson spent a lot of time, hunting this criminal, Neil McCauley. The TV series was proposed for NBC. Michael Mann had done Miami Vice, which was a huge, cultural phenomenon in the 80s.
Right.
This is supposed to be his LA follow-up to it. Never really panned out. It was probably a little too violent, a little too, a lot of things. And so, but
it was many of the scenes that were in the film
are directly.
He did it. He took it from the small screen.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy. Like shot for shot. You know what I mean? And so LA Takedown becomes Heat, and for the better, for the best. Really, I mean, this film, and certainly it could have. You could remake it as a TV series. But I think that as a film, it stands. I think that the film encapsulates. I think you get everything you need in the film. To be honest with you, I think that and if there's one criticism, I know we get to criticism a little bit later. It's sprawling. There's a lot going on at times in this film that, it's still watchable, eminently watchable, but could be tightened up for a film. But you can tell it was based on source material, and this is the biggest point. You can tell it was based on source material from a TV show. You can kind of see how there would be an episode
formulaic
stuff. Right. There'd be an episode about Shaherlis and his gambling issues. You know what I mean? And really, to be honest with you, that would be something I'd be interested in seeing.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Michael Cerrito's home life.
Yeah, very, very interested to see that, because and that's the thing. They try to flesh out a lot of these things, like in the big dinner scene, with the crews. Who are these people? It'd be nice to get to know, especially given the series of events that go on later on, where he picks up a little girl and uses her as a human shield, but he's got a whole family. He's got a whole ass family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
a little girl around the same age. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, I wonder why. Well, I don't really wonder why, because Michael Mann's gone on to have a fruitful career as a filmmaker. But, you do kind of, just like our man David Fincher went back and did Manhunter or Mindhunters.
Mindhunters, yeah.
It'd be wonderful if Michael Mann would decide, hey, let's go ahead and take this LA Takedown and make it a show again.
Showtime, right. HBO. I think it works. I think it continually works because they can keep taking scores. Yeah. You're almost there. You get one of them. Yeah. Put the screws on one of them. I think it works. I think if nothing else, HBO does the limited series well.
Yeah.
The 8 episode limited series.
Yes.
I could do 8 hours of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I did 2.5. Absolutely. I could do 8 hours. I could do 8 hours of this on my back, like chilling. You know what I mean?
Easily.
But I want to say this too. I think there's something to the to not giving up on the project, and when he was finally doing it. So he had the rope to get he had the rope and the gravitas to get the pilot made, but he didn't have it they wouldn't buy it, right? So he makes Last of the Mohicans, and it's this big sprawling, amazing, beautiful movie, and it's nominated and it's beloved. So he does that, and they're like, all right, okay, maybe we'll give you a shot. What do you want to do? And this is what I want to do. Yeah, we'll give you $60 million. $60 million in 1994.
A lot of money.
I cannot stress enough. I think Spike was trying to get an additional 6 or 7 after giving 20 from Paramount.
To bust his ass to get it.
Yeah, and had to get it from famous Black people. Who got their money back probably first. But at the same time, I think that this film, I said something about the preparation that they went through. They studied. They spent a lot of time with the police. They spent a lot of time with bank robbers. They spent a lot of time. The crew, I'm gonna just call them the Cifaretto crew. The Macaulay crew.
Please do it.
The Cifaretto crew. They were casing banks. Ashley Judd was talking for real. Ashley Judd was talking to the wives of these bank robbers who were in jail. So she could have a better understanding. So little things could come out. And it added to the authenticity. You already had this beautiful LA film. The authenticity of it being a true LA, an LA that's not, it's in, some other LA. This film truly is the grittiest I've ever seen Los Angeles. And in a way, and it's not like gritty, like dirty. It's just gritty, like, so it's just real. Because you have so many different ways of living there. Go ahead.
You know what it captures about LA is the loneliness of LA. Like, there's so
you
many
did mention sprawl. You mentioned sprawl. So please,
there's so many people that go out to LA to find a new life, to do this, do that, the other, right? And I think no film really captures, maybe Swingers a little bit in its own way.
Because they definitely needed each other in Swingers. They needed each other.
Right. But no other film really captures this loneliness, and like for instance, when Amy Brenneman's character asked Robert De Niro, like, "Are you lonely?" He's like, "I'm alone. I'm not lonely.
I'm not lonely."
But she was true.
Did you ever use that one?
Yeah, of course. I use that a lot, actually.
Yeah, me too. I used to use that. that was in my my repertoire. Edie was truly lonely in LA. No question.
She was looking for somebody, anybody. Like, I mean,
LA proved too much for the man.
She's lady, why do you care so much about what I'm doing and what I'm reading? Like, and she's still like, that didn't throw her off. She was still there.
Yeah, like, and a nice person.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the kind of person,
a true innocent.
That's the kind of person that LA eats up. I mean, and she was eaten up in this movie. She was, chewed up and spit out.
If I were her, though, I'd have checked the trunk and then just gone and had a great life. I'd have still taken the flight. I'd have checked the trunk.
Because
she knew the cash was there.
She knew.
She knew the cash was there. Check the trunk.
Yeah.
We're gonna go make it work.
Yeah.
We're gonna go make it work in New Zealand.
Yeah.
A lot.
But the loneliness of LA, man, like, I mean, again, you go out there with nobody. A lot of people do this. A lot of people go out to LA with nobody.
Yeah.
They go out there trying to make their, make it or break it. Right. And more people break it than make it.
It's like a cure. It's like a cure-all, like moving to Atlanta too.
Message.
Yeah. It's like this cure-all, but with more sprawl.
Yeah.
And with less people that you actually know. I mean, I think that's a beautiful sentiment there about it. And it really does. Everybody kind of seems alone. So they need that. They need that crew. They need the juice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
From that just to live.
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more.
Even Pacino's character. I mean,
no question.
Why is he in this loveless marriage with this crazy ass stepdaughter? You know what I mean? Like, it's something. It's something to hold on to. Even if the chicken's overcooked and, it's got that little TV. You know what I mean?
Postmodern dead tech. futuristic.
I can't say enough about Pacino in this. Hey, look, who's your unsung? I want to just jump straight in. Who's your unsung hero in this movie? I think it's the same as mine.
I was trying to put my finger on one, and I think because there's not really a lead.
Okay, I agree.
So it's difficult. It's difficult, even though Al got top billing. It's difficult. It was difficult for me, because I'm thinking all the questions all the time. Like as I'm watching, like, okay, how am I going to answer this? And now pressed with it.
That's how I do.
I think it's the crews.
Okay.
I think it's the police crew, and I think it's the Macaulay crew.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying that is because they're supporting, they're holding up these two central figures.
Yeah.
That are diametrically opposed.
Yeah.
That will at some point, clash.
Yeah.
And without their support, or without the things they say, or without their work or whatever they're doing or bringing to the table, the guys up top aren't able to, mastermind it all and think. Sure. So to me, when pressed with it, it's the police officers, and it's the crews minus Waingro, of course.
Sure. Let me ask you this, since you brought this up a little bit earlier in the pre-show before people aren't privy to it. You made a King of New York reference.
Yeah, I did.
So King of New York does kind of a similar thing with the police crew and the Frank White crew.
Very, very similar. Yes.
Yeah.
Very similar.
So like comparatively, what are your thoughts on do you think that this was do you think that Michael Mann, in a not necessarily derivative way, but maybe was influenced a bit by it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. King of New York. I mean, it showed. I think Michael Mann was. I think later, what's my man? Ridley Scott was with American Gangster. I mean, it's literally now it's a trope.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, this is something you
got Den of Thieves.
There's all kinds of films like this now.
Yeah.
Where we're seeing both sides of this.
Yeah.
The Departed. We're seeing
The Town.
The Town. Oh, The Town. We're seeing both sides of this now, right? So, but I think looking back, I think King of New York did it extremely well. I just didn't trust Frank White's crew.
Sure.
Like I did this crew.
Oh, they bought into Neil Macaulay. They were all he was a leader.
This is they were picking up guys on the sub, Frank was picking up guys on the subway. Harold Perrineau. I'm not afraid of Harold Perrineau. Okay, so and it's not even, I mean, I'm not. So as opposed to these guys, I think they'd have run. I think the four of them would have run Frank's crew out of town. Frank could have been working for them.
Yeah, no, they were professionals all the way through. All the way through.
And lived by a code.
The not fucking around crew, as they say in the town.
Yeah. They're not.
Yeah, they weren't. So my unsung hero for the movie is Tom Sizemore, which we got.
Which I got him up right now. Yeah.
All right.
Why is he yours?
For me, he was the one that Christian Hurlix.
Slick.
He was the one that brought it all down. Sure. The slick thing, which it's been talked about how kind of that's the weak link in the whole plot line to me.
Yeah, because the guy heard slick and it had to be something.
It had to be something. You're right. But with that being said, he was kind of the linchpin of the whole thing. I think that Neil Macaulay was really on the fence about. I mean, Shirley's is like, I need this. This is the bank is everything. I need this. But I think that the action is the juice, which is a lot is made of that line. That was the selling point for him, and he was just like, okay, I'm in. This is it. And his character was just he was completely unscrupulous. He was the scoundrel of the crew. picking up the kid. I just can't get over that scene. But he was also like just kind of he was the glue of that crew too in a way.
Yes,
the
married father,
right?
Who was into being married and into being a father,
right? He's that guy that it was just like when you read in the newspaper, like he was involved in this, like him. Like, he was in the PTA or whatever. Like, this
because Shirley's didn't Shirley's drive like a Stingray?
Yeah.
He's got a little boy. He's got a little boy, and he's got a 2-seater. Let me tell you right now.
Degenerate.
Whenever you see a father of a young child with a 2-seater, that person is not serious about fatherhood.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I endure.
And if I offend anyone, I'm sorry that you're offended. And you might have another family vehicle, but in the film, I think he literally drove that Stingray on purpose to show that he didn't care, even though he's like, Dominic comes with me. Okay.
If you want it that way.
Is he going to be in the front seat? How's that working out? Let me know.
Yeah, man. But all right.
So it's Cerrito for you.
It's definitely Cerrito. Like he's, when I come back, subsequent viewings of Heat, I focus on the Tom Sizemore character more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Every viewing.
I think it's this and Saving Private Ryan. He's at his best.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's at his best. I think he stumbles through Devil in a Blue Dress trying to say the N word. Yeah. He stumbles through it. And he was out of shape. He was horribly out of shape. So it wasn't
going through some things. As my man Master P.
The 90s. It's the 90s. What are you gonna do?
And shout out to my man Val Kilmer, because I think that of everybody that was robbed of, certainly Al Pacino and DeNiro deserve some accolades. Val Kilmer's been robbed of his standing in history more than any other actor, I think, than any, I can think of. Val Kilmer is so good in so many films. Like if you're thinking about Tombstone, Willow, The Doors, this movie, like Batman.
That's like bam, 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 bam. That's like back to back to back to back.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's, and people will not know that, like the millennials.
And he's the Iceman.
Iceman. I love it, man.
He was.
Yeah, he was. He was like these millennials and Gen Zers won't know who he is because he hadn't gotten any statues.
Hopefully, when they do when the new Top Gun comes out, he'll start to get some love again. It's long overdue though. I think it's long overdue.
And this is the peak for him, and I think that his performance in this movie, like best supporting actor, again going back to that Oscars that year.
Let's see who was up. Well, Spacey won. So I have no issue with that.
No issue with that whatsoever. There's a hell of a performance.
No issue with Spacey winning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No issue.
Verbal Kid, phenomenal.
Let's look at who else was up. Tim Roth and Rob Roy. No. Brad Pitt in 12 Monkeys.
It's a good performance. Not excellent.
Ed Harris in Apollo 13.
I mean, Ed Harris is Ed Harris. I mean, we know this now.
James Cromwell in Babe, and then Spacey.
Come on, man.
Tough room. But you probably move Cromwell and probably Tim Roth. You could take two of those Brits and knock one of them out, if not both, and make room for. I have no problem with Val Kilmer.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you identify with anybody in this film?
I'm serious about my work.
Okay.
Neil and Vincent are serious about their work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I identify with that about them.
Okay.
That's where that ends. How about you?
I got some woman troubles of late. I'm Neil McCauley. I'm completely Neil McCauley. Like I'm
okay.
I'm hostile at times. Like, lady, why are you so interested in what I'm reading and what I'm like? If they're I can't. Shout out to my buddy Wendell Patton. I don't know if Wendell listens to us or not, but there was a moment one time where me and Wendell used to hang super tough, and we would like get a bottle of Jack and smash that bottle of Jack over a weekend. Okay. And every now and again, like there was one we come from the ilk. I come from the ilk of Meharry, where we would hang out in the amphitheater and drink and hang out and barbecue and do all this kind of thing. And occasionally, people would come by while we were doing it. And a young lady was trying to holler at me. I Neil McCauley her, man. I was like,
here you go.
She's like, what, how you doing now? Yada, yada. I was like, leave me alone. I was like, she's like, well, I hope you have a good night. I was like, bad night. and Wendell never let me live that down. He was like, why did you tell that woman bad night? Like, what's wrong with you? I was Neil McCauley, man. And that kind of speaks to a DeNiro thing to me. DeNiro, it's really hard to see him as a lovable character in anything. I can't see him as the love interest in any film. He just doesn't, he's not lovable.
They were close to it. And his line that made her come with him was beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
And he delivered it, I thought beautifully, especially with someone's falling and grasping to hold on to anything in that moment. Yeah. I thought that was beautiful and believable, but I completely understand your point.
Yes. So I'm not always in that Neil McCauley space, but I'm certainly there right now. And
well, I wish you nothing but the best trying to get out of it. If you would so endeavor to do so.
Hey, man, when the heat's around the corner, can't have any attachments.
None. None.
You can't drop in 30 seconds. And I don't know, the heat might be around the corner. Who knows, man? So
okay. Yeah, watch out.
Very dark turn. Right, anyway, that's who and nobody else really in the film. I enjoyed. I guess I don't know when else to talk about Tone Loc in the film.
There's no other time. Go ahead, do it.
Like, I enjoy Tone Loc in general as an actor. Like, when he's in Ace Ventura, those are some of my favorite moments in Ace Ventura. When he was the vigilante in Rock, on some of those live episodes of Rock, Tone Loc, he's my guy. You know what I mean? And sure enough, as Albert's brother Richard, Richard.
Richard, I hear Richard. BJ's Alvarado, 2 a.m. BJ's on Alvarado. My brother Richard gonna talk to you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Doesn't exist, man. But yeah, man. Like Tone Loc, my man Tone Loc is reserved. I thought he did a hell of a job. I just had to give him a shout out. I don't know where else to put that.
Can we talk about Michael Mann's club scenes?
Let's talk about
in his two crowning beauty LA films.
So Collateral in this?
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
No one does interiors at odd times of night with a lot of people in the room like Michael Mann. Yeah. No one does it because they're not on the set. They're at a real place.
Yeah.
And it's chaos that somehow is like the perfect color. And the principal is always well lit.
Yeah.
And it seems believable, and you're there in the scene, and it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
So BJ's in Alvarado was a very interesting place. Late night, private kind of club where nothing but nefarious stuff was going down. And here this homicide, robbery and homicide tour de force is going in there cool as a cucumber. And no one's jumping.
Yeah.
I mean, he could arrest any number of people in there for any number of things. And he doesn't even care. He does, that's not why he's there. He's looking for big fish, high level only.
Yeah.
Which takes me to the scene behind me right here. The question is, who won the scene?
I'm glad you asked. I was hoping that you'd ask, man. I think that Neil McCauley wins.
Why?
I think
that's a common.
I think he used the scene as the dominant figure. In other words, like I think that Vincent Hanna's like, I'll take you down, brother. Like, you know what I mean? Macaulay's like, I won't hesitate. It is what it is with him. He's disciplined. The discipline when he's asking him about like, why he would walk away. It's the discipline.
That's the discipline.
And Vincent Hanna doesn't have that discipline. He doesn't have it. And I think, 9 times out of 10, and it just so happens in the film, the one time out of that 10 occurs. But 9 times out of 10, discipline's winning over chaos.
Yeah.
And I think Vincent Hanna represented chaos to the nth degree. And Neil Macaulay represented discipline. And I'll tell you, you talked about him adhering to his code. The one time when he doesn't adhere to the code was what really cost him. Because he went back to kill our guy we haven't really talked about, Waingro.
No, I was going to get to that.
Okay,
yeah, but go ahead. Right. Go ahead. No,
goes back and kills our guy Waingro. And that was the one lapse in discipline because he's like, the rage that he has over that whole situation overcomes him and he has to go finish that unfinished business. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, whereas he could have cut ties and left 30 seconds with the heat around the corner. Instead, he allowed the heat to catch up to him. You know what I mean?
They might have got to the airport. They might have gotten.
They might have, but they knew he was going. They knew he was going to go back and deal with this unfinished business because again, this is my theory on it is that this is Vincent thinking like a Vincent, whereas if he had thought like a Neil, he wouldn't have probably gone back there because he would have just gone straight to the airport. But instead, he knew he was going to go back and like the vengeance took over his spirit. And the one time, and this is where we talk about like a man having a code. If you got a code, you got to live by that code 100% of the time.
All the time.
If you don't, as soon as you break the code, you learn why you had that code, and that's what happened.
A man got to live by a code.
Right. A man got to have a code.
Got to have a code.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
There's an A and an H in there. And
shout
like
out
a W.
To Michael K. Williams, the great Michael K. Williams.
Shout out to Michael K. Williams. I used to argue about this all the time. I remember I was over in Belmont Estates on Cascade Road.
Yes.
At the home of, thank you, one Reverend Dr. Seth Pickens and Wayne Herman Davis, and sitting with
two of my favorite people.
Yes, the ever opinionated Johnny Lee Moore. And we're sitting there watching the film in like 98, 99, watching the film. No, it was actually summer 2000. We're watching the film, and the argument comes up: who won? Who won the scene? Yeah. And Faraji was there, and most of the room was with Neil. I said no. I thought it was Vincent. They said why? I said well, because in the end, he's the law. He's got the law on his side. So no matter what, and there was my theory and my opinion. This is 21 years ago. I said, in the end, he's right.
Yeah, he is.
And he says, don't take down scores.
Yeah.
But in that room, like, I'll leave you alone. You stop doing what you do, I'll leave you alone. Basically,
I'm the best at doing what I do.
Yeah, I'm the best at doing what I do. You're the best at doing what you do. He said, you must have worked some shitty crews. I worked all type of crews. And while he's sitting there talking about it, you must have worked some horrible crews. Okay, well, we got you too.
Yeah.
We got you. I got you.
Yeah.
And I literally took you out.
Because he let him walk away. And let him walk away on that breaking and entering. Like,
yes. So what are we gonna do? Breaking it and steal anything. Because he's not for that.
Yeah,
he is for big fish.
Yeah.
So the discipline, the beauty of the discipline that you just brought up, is he's out there. He hears that one guy who can't sit still and makes the noise.
Yeah.
Where it shouldn't be a noise. Could be a cat.
Sure.
Could be cops in a U-Haul. Could be the wind. Could be nothing. Could be anything.
Sure.
Guess what? Why take the chance? We're out.
Yeah.
We bail. What? I'm right there. We bail.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And if anybody needed that money, it was Chris.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And not to mention they were waiting on $750 from Van Zandt.
Yeah. Yeah.
$750K from Van Zandt.
Yeah.
Right.
We bail. We out.
We out. Okay, so cool. We out. No problem. No biggie. Cool. That's cool in the fan. But if you talk about presence in the room, it's Neil.
Yeah.
And somebody was always, I've heard this thing like, oh, he's always looking at the door. No, he always does that. He's always darting. He's always looking, thinking somebody's coming.
Yeah.
So
he's around the corner.
Always. So it wasn't like just because he was in that scene at Elin Catalina Cafe, which is no longer there. It wasn't because of thank you. It wasn't because of that. I had to bring it up. It wasn't because of that. It was because that's just who he was. He was always looking around the corner. And so I will have to defer now that it was, like you said, it was Neil. But I thought Vincent's points were as strong, if not stronger. Like, yeah, but I'm the law. You can say all this you want to. Yeah. You're breaking the law. Yeah. And these aren't unjust laws that you're breaking. No, I can see if this is some violation.
These are egregious. These are egregious violations of
right. I can see, and you all are killing people.
Yeah.
You all are killing people. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's big in and of itself. I want to bring up another Dennis Haysbert's short part in the film.
Yeah, talk about it.
I really love that he's there because he's where they were, and he's just getting out, right? And so they've no rehabilitated, there's nothing. They are who they are.
Yeah.
And so they're finding their own way in the world, Michael and Chris and let's just say Neil for right now, and they're just making it work, man. And so when they see him, they know there's a code among those men.
Yeah,
there's an understanding among those men. Yeah, are you cool? Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool.
Yeah.
And he asks him, he thinks about it. Man, I'm so tired of this right now. I'm out, bro. Even though he's got the love of that good woman, the woman who believes him and loves him. He's got the love of that good woman. But man is who he is.
A man.
And so I hated it for him, but even that little hour of freedom was better than standing behind that line, burning your hands and being treated horribly.
Yeah.
They're in that diner.
Yeah. Yeah, so, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So I appreciated that glimpse into the life of a formerly incarcerated person.
Yeah, you don't get that kind of view of those kind of characters very often. So yeah, I'm totally with that. And anytime we get President Haysbert, I'm all good for that, man.
Another time I saw something like that was Louis Guzman in How to Make It in America. I don't know how adept you are in that 20 episode arc, but and if you've never done it, you could probably do it in a weekend, by the way.
Okay.
Great show. I used to love it on HBO, which might be my next binge, by the way. But he was formerly incarcerated, and he was trying to, do his thing. Make it. Yeah. And go another way. And there were constant obstacles while he's trying to do that. But it's a comedy, so it's a little different. Sure. Or Tracy Morgan in the OG, it's the same general principle there.
I got you. I'm gonna check it out. With that being said, Joe, where are we? We talked about we kind of delved into the societal impact already. We talked about the TV connection with LA Takedown.
Big one, huge TV connection. Yeah. Unlike many films we discussed. What is one? Oh, go ahead. No, please.
I was gonna say genre defining moment, like the heist movies. This is it, man. This is.
Yeah, even though he doesn't consider it a crime movie, but he was going to call it Crime Story as a working title. It was Crime Story. This is it. And every one of the things was successful.
Yeah. Yeah. They got away. Really.
They did. Get away. If two of them walked away that day, they got away.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there's that part of it. So where it ranks for me, I'm glad you asked this, because I got a couple categories. So, Pacino for me has two real distinct careers. He has the the Michael Corleone career. Okay. And the films in that realm. Yeah. And I include Dog Day Afternoon there.
Okay? Of course, you have to.
And then starting from Scarface on, you got like just yelling Al Pacino.
Yeah. Which at some point he's gonna yell.
And so this is
he didn't yell in City Hall though.
Didn't yell in City Hall. He's very, very
He's a mayor. He's the mayor.
It's unbecoming of a mayor. Yeah. My favorite yelling Al Pacino movie. For sure. This is for sure. Wow. As a matter of fact, like much like Chris Ryan from another podcast, like I have an Al Pacino repertoire of impersonations that they pretty much are all based in this movie. Like even my Godfather 3 Al Pacino is basically Heat Al Pacino. My Sin of a Woman Al Pacino is Heat Al Pacino. My Devil's Advocate Al Pacino is my Heat Al Pacino. Like, so,
I understand.
You know, Vincent Hanna is my, so there's that. It is my favorite Michael Mann movie. More than Ali, more than Manhunter, more than Last of the Mohicans, which I really enjoy.
Collateral.
And Collateral, another one that I really so Heat and Collateral are like right here, and then I've learned to love Miami Vice, the film version.
Yeah,
I did not like it initially. I saw it in the theater. Did not like it initially. I thought it was, it was
another couple club scenes there.
Right, over stylized. But then I've had some time as an adult to watch it a few more times, and I was like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm with it. I'm okay with it. So, but still, Heat, number one. So those two things. What about you? What rankings do you have for it?
It's one of my most enjoyable films. It's one of my favorite films from the 90s. I think it's one of the best films I watched in the 90s. I think it's one of the most robbed films.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When it comes to not love, because we're talking about it, and not love in that sense, but love in that it should have been honored.
It's standing in history. Like,
yes.
Again, so millennials and the whatever generations come afterward, like,
and they'll find it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you're a male. I know that not just men listen to us, thank gosh, but I think people will find it.
Yeah.
Because of TNT, the same reason that you mentioned before.
Yeah.
But had Babe not been there.
Yeah.
Freaking Babe. Had that not been there or something else, and it sneaks in and gets past Braveheart, a story that didn't take place in the United States of America and was directed by an American for the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sounding real Texan today, but
hey man, represent old school Texas and not Greg Abbott Texas. How about that? I'm okay with that.
I will. I'm
okay with that.
I'm LBJ Texas, but which is crazy too. But nonetheless, I think it was robbed. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of my favorite, because DeNiro has phases too.
Yeah.
And this was like the end. This is the height of his powers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he had a solid 3-decade run. It was 70s, 80s, 90s. Solid 3-decade run where he didn't really make mistakes.
No.
And then he got older. And then you're like, what in the world is he doing? But he's an actor.
He's an actor. I like.
So he's acting.
I like Bad Grandpa.
His Bad Grandpa. There's more than one Fokker. And I love fun. I love fun. Don't get me wrong. And I saw them all. I saw the first one.
But bad movies are bad movies.
But Neil McCauley is in.
Yeah, that's
the third Fokkers. The third Fokkers.
There's no comparison.
What are we talking about? So one of my favorite De Niro films, one of my favorite Pacino films.
Yeah.
So this and definitely one of my top 3 LA movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah, for sure.
Like real LA movies, not just movies that were made, not like House Party, which was they never acknowledged that it was made in LA. I'm talking about
but real
where you're in Los Angeles.
Where LA's a character in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Obviously my list is going to reflect quite a bit in that regard. You have any nitpicks of the film that we haven't talked about?
No, we talked about the convenience of how it got going.
Sure.
Slick and Waingro.
Sure.
Man,
we talked about, man.
We didn't really get into Waingro, but
what a sleazy guy.
He had a lot going on. And I guess they left something out because
he's a serial killer, man.
He was, and he'd been doing that, and same MO, all that.
Yeah.
And he even tells her, "You don't even know what this is."
Yeah, you're being visited by by the Grim Reaper.
By the Grim Reaper, right? And so we didn't even go into that.
Yeah. That young lady, she wasn't in very much. Kai, what was her name? Kai something or the other, but wasn't in a whole lot of other films other than this film.
The sister, though, that played her mom, she was the first Black character in a Woody Allen film. She was in Deconstructing Harry.
Really?
Yeah. And it's interesting because Deconstructing Harry came out just a little bit after Heat.
That was the first Black character in a Woody Allen film?
First one, 1996. Deconstructing Harry. Wow. And not a lot of Black people on Upper West Side the films he makes or any of those films. First Black character and one of the few Black characters ever Celebrity had one or two, which was modern day, like a modern day story, and it was Celebrity. Yeah. But she was also in that. I wish I could remember her name right now, but she's in that. And every time I see that scene, I'm thinking like, there's so many thoughts. He feels he needs to comfort. Then he's like, I can't even stop this.
Yeah.
And she looks at him and knows he can't stop this. It's kind of like there's a scene in Nixon.
Okay.
Where Hopkins goes to the Washington or the Lincoln Monument or whatever memorial, and he's talking to the college students. And the young lady says to him, "You talk about this thing like you talk about this issue like it's a living thing." And he says, "It is." She said, "Well, what do you do with a living thing? You got to kill it." And essentially, there's this moment where he realizes he can't stop certain things, and Nixon can't stop certain things despite his control issues. And it kind of I kind of saw that mirrored in this.
Yeah.
Wherein Vincent's trying to hold her, and like hopefully holding her will, fix everything, but he knows he can't. Like these people are out there, and he's trying his best to stop them. It's all he cares about. Yeah. He's trying his best to stop them. I didn't have really any nitpicks with it. I didn't understand why he couldn't make it work with the beautiful Diane Verona. God bless her. And the Natalie Portman, suicide attempt. I wish we knew a little more. We saw the hysterics over the barrettes, and having a 6-year-old daughter, I do understand that. We saw the hysterics over the barrettes, but how did it get there? Like she was so. But you said it. People were alone, and she says it. I just want to be alone.
Yeah.
And he looks at her. Like, dang, you can't say that at 11 or 12 years old. Like, you just want to be alone. Like, come on, you can't have that. And Vincent's a good person. Yeah, he's a good person, and he obviously he loves his. It's not. I don't want to call it a stepdaughter. He loves his daughter. I think he really, not you, baby, not today. All these scumbags, they can die and go and we can be rid of them, but not you, not today. We're gonna do everything we can to help. And he's sitting there, but he knows he wants to be elsewhere.
That's his humanity. That's his humanity.
Yeah.
And I agree. I looked up
when he runs out of there. I just want to say, when he runs out of there, he's gleeful as he runs down those steps.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. So I looked up that actress. Is Hazel Goodman. She's in a movie we saw together, Hannibal. As Imelda Drumgo. She was. So she had a
little run there.
So in that scene, when I think about that, I think about when she's coming to try to see what her. I keep thinking about that scene in Mystic River where it's like, is that my daughter in there? Like, that I'd never.
Or then later you see Marcia Gay Harden.
Yeah,
asking about where's Tim Robbins? Like, where is he? Where is he? Where'd he go?
Those are those kind of things gut
After
me in
fingering him
these
to
films.
those
She did. She set him up for that, and then feigns the less said about that again, the better. But at any rate, man, like those kind of scenes gut me in films, man. I hate to see like the family reacting to that moment when they know, something's happened to their loved one.
But I think it's realistic.
It is. But it's so gutting. I hate watching those things. So at any rate, man, Heat, man. Look, talked about Heat.
We did talk about Heat, man, and we did talk about Heat. We truly did. I don't know.
Did we talk about Van Zandt? We didn't really talk too much about Van Zandt and that whole like selling the
boat. We didn't. Oh, let's talk about that scene.
Yeah.
I thought they took a little bit from Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
Stay with me.
Yeah.
In the desert.
Yeah.
When very similar scene of a station wagon drop off.
Yeah.
And didn't expect it to be there, and then he's shooting, and I thought Mann took a little creative license there from
Lewis Donner.
Another wonderful Los Angeles film.
Yeah.
I thought that was taken a little bit from that, but Van Zandt, he had another storyline that this guy was crooked for the sake of being crooked.
Yeah.
And just couldn't get the insurance and the.
So we were interrupted by technical difficulties, guys. We're gonna let it roll, man.
But we back.
We back.
We back.
We're talking about Van Zandt, man, and just how look, man, like
he was on one, man.
He was wild. Van Zandt was a wild guy. And like this whole connection with Waingro and like, I got an idea for you. I got an end for you, man. Like,
falling for anything.
And that does talk about my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes in the movie.
What is your favorite scene?
My favorite scene is when he's calling Van Zandt up and he's like, it's an empty, I'm talking to an empty room here. Because there's a dead man on the other end. Like, just that threat right there, like
pretty strong.
Don't worry about the money. As soon as a criminal says, "Don't worry about the money," to you,
it's a lot of money. What do you mean? It's a lot of money.
Hey, it's over for you, William Fichtner. Hey, I also enjoy Al Pacino saying it. She had a great ass, and you got your head all up it, way up it. Yeah, man. Van Zandt, William Fichtner, great performance. Fantastic.
I'm a fan of Fichtner. He's always he brings it.
Yeah, he does.
No matter what he's doing, if it's Entourage or he's like an HBO regular too.
Yeah,
he brings it. I appreciate him.
Yeah. Michael T. Williamson, Bubba Gump,
right off of Bubba Gump, man. He does this, and then he does Wait to Exhale, and then
raggedy ass bitch.
Yeah, leather. Whenever you wear the leather vest,
no man wearing a leather vest with nothing underneath it has ever done anything good.
Nothing good. In the sun, in Phoenix,
Arizona. By the time I get to Phoenix,
has Layla Rashawn ever looked as amazing as she did though in the white dress in that scene?
No.
Okay.
That's peak. And we're talking about Sunshine. We're talking about her in Boomerang. No, peak Layla Rashawn.
Yeah.
This is where Antoine Fuqua was like, yeah.
Gotta have you. Got to have you.
Gotta have you for me.
Me. You are a sight for some eyes to see.
Indeed.
Gotta make you my reality. Come on.
Brother Joe, so next week. We're staying in LA.
We are. This is a different LA. Vibe with us. With us.
Look,
next week we're showing off. We're showing off.
It's polarizing because a lot of people feel a certain way about the director, and we so far this season.
I forgot.
We stood up for the much maligned William H. Cosby.
We did.
You know,
for the legacy.
For the legacy
of the work.
So bear that in mind, guys. The legacy of the work. We're gonna go to Roman Polanski's classic film, Chinatown. And if you've never seen Chinatown, take this week. Robert Evans, man. Look,
Bobby Evans, Robert Town.
Yeah, man.
And real quick, Bobby Evans, Bob Town, and of course, maybe you mentioned Polanski, of course. Another great, LA Be My Lady, of course, or LA Is My Lady. Wait, what is it?
LA Is My Lady.
Yes. The beauty of this film, in so many ways, was that there was a horrible. Wow, when I looked up Chinatown for caps. I gotta show you what I just got for screen caps. I've got to show you what I just
got. Up, man.
I cannot wait to drop this one on you. But I was looking up Chinatown. I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing because I just Googled Chinatown. Okay. I look up Chinatown on this website, and I got a number of little things that came up.
Sure,
but then this film came up, and of course I can't pull it up because I'm. Oh, there we go. Yes. So this comes up.
Well, yes. Not quite the same, but nonetheless.
Not quite the same at all. Not quite the same.
Old Jack Burton says when we got some technical difficulties, you let it ride. We flow straight from the survival scrolls. That's
there he is. Finally. Let me take a drink. God. No, but we're doing Chinatown next week. 1974. Wins Best Picture. Jack Nicholson.
Faye Dunaway.
Jack Houston.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It's a phenomenal film. Guys, I think we're gonna have to end it here. This is another Open Tabs production. Having some technical difficulties, but join us next week when we talk about Chinatown, guys.